Once again, good afternoon to those of you at Boardwalk Hall, and for those of you that are joining us on the Dirt Track Digest.tv Facebook page or the Indoor Auto Racing Championship Facebook page. Welcome to Atlantic City, New Jersey. Outside it is damp, chilly, gray, icky, and miserable. Inside it's nice, comfortable, climate controlled, and we are getting ready to do some racing with the first of two nights of competition coming at you later on this evening for the Napa Auto Parts Atlantic City Indoor Race, featuring a whole plethora, if you will, of different types of qualifying events. There'll be the craps race, the 7x11 qualifiers. There's going to be the red and the black main events, and of course we will have the TQ Midgets Blackjack 21 laps, $2,100 to the winner. Now, before we get underway with that this evening, we have to do some qualifying, and that is what is on deck now, getting ready to roll out on the track here in just a couple of moments. Starting off with group qualifying for the TQ Midgets, all of these TQs on Hoosier Racing 750cc engines. Most of the engines are hanging on the left side frame rail of the race car for maximum left side weight to get these things to corner as quickly as they do here in these indoor confines on a flat track like this without a wing. We'll see their cousins, the 600 Micros, a little bit later on, along with our Hoosier Racing Tire Champ Carts and our Tobias Slingshots that will have group qualifying as well. But right now we're going to start by focusing on the group time trials here for the TQs. There are 73 cars, not quite 73 cars, but they drew numbers earlier, and the pill draw went from a low of 1 to a high of 73, and that is how they have determined the qualifying order. Now, once everybody is through, as time permits, there will be additional qualifying attempts that will be allowed, but that is time permitting and making sure that all cars get one pass on the clock in their respective group. The first group getting ready to come out will be the number 75, Anthony Cecily, a former Indoor Auto Racing Championship winner. MC, Mike Christopher Jr. with the black number 82, and Ron Mullen with the orange and white number 39. They are going to be group number 1. And they'll be getting ready to hit the track here in just a couple of moments as the officials are making their last-minute preparations. Now, if you're watching on Facebook and you're saying to yourself, how do I watch the racing tonight? Well, that's simple. You go to DirtTrackDigest.tv. You can order tonight's program for $34.99. $34.99 at DirtTrackDigest.tv. That way you won't miss a minute of the racing action here in Boardwalk Hall later on this evening with the full program that we have on tap for you. By the way, the weekend package is $64.99. So if you wanted to make sure you get not only tonight, but the Gamblers Classic, of course, tomorrow for the big bucks and the big trophy, then by all means you can order that $64.99 option on DirtTrackDigest.tv as well. Anthony Cecily's car being pushed out here towards the edge of this indoor auto racing facility here. Boardwalk Hall converted into an oval track for competition here with simple cola syrup used as a traction additive. That's what allows the rubber to come off the tires, lay down, bind to the floor, and provide a sticky racing surface for these competitors. And they started building that groove that you see, that dark rubber groove around the racetrack. They started building that with the practice sessions that were held here last night. And then there were 2 rounds of practice for all classes held earlier this afternoon. One set with the tires in their standard location, and by that I mean the yellow marker tires for the corners, and then one session with the tires out, since we're going to be qualifying tires out. Racing action, by the way, if you're purchasing for tonight, gets underway at 7 o'clock with our craps race for the TQ Midgets. That'll be a 10-lap race for non-qualifiers from our Indoor Auto Racing Championship event at Allentown. The winner gets the 21st and final starting spot in the Blackjack 21A main. Now, out of qualifying, the top 28 are going to lock in to the TQ Midget qualifiers, the red and the black races that will be happening a little bit later on this evening. If you're 29 through 60 in the order, you're going to be slated into what are called 7-come-11 qualifiers. There will be 2 of those tonight. Each of those 11-lap races with the top 7 moving on to A qualifiers. Following that tonight, we'll have our Champ Kart A qualifiers, 600 sprint qualifier, then our TQ Midget qualifiers, as mentioned, the red and the black. 21 cars, 20 laps each, $500 to win each of those. The lineup for those, by the way, is going to be set by an inversion, and the top 10 in each of those races move on to the Blackjack 21. Then we'll have the Slingshot A qualifiers, followed by the TQ Midget Blackjack 21 race. And again, that is 21 laps, $2,100 to the winner. So that's the idea for those of you that are watching us on Facebook of what you can expect in the evening program. There is going to be a lot of competitive racing for you to watch on DirtTrackDigest.tv. And of course, if you're here in the arena with us at Boardwalk Hall as well, plenty of action. If you're planning on coming here in person, by the way, the grandstand doors open at 6. And then the show starts at 7 o'clock. You can go to Ticketmaster.com. That's the easiest, simplest way to buy your tickets. And don't forget, if you buy your tickets in advance for tomorrow, we have our Fan Fest tomorrow that starts at 5 o'clock. So if you're coming down here to Boardwalk Hall and the Jersey Shore, make sure you get those reserved tickets. If you're planning on coming tomorrow for Fan Fest and you're buying those in advance at Ticketmaster, again, make sure those are the reserved tickets because those are the ones that will grant you access to the Fan Fest here tomorrow. That's where we park all of the competitors around the track, give you a chance to come down, walk right on the racetrack itself. Not something you'd normally get to do. The drivers will be around to sign autographs, pose for pictures. You can ask them questions about the race cars themselves and all sorts of stuff. It's always a good time. We always enjoy having Fan Fest as part of any of our indoor auto racing championship events. Now, let me explain. I was talking about second chance opportunities, how that is going to work. Once everybody is through in the order, a 20-minute clock will start. And this is a bit of a dice roll, pun definitely intended, if you are a driver, because if you come out for a second chance qualifying attempt, well, you better go faster than you did the first time, because if you come out for a second attempt, it's going to wipe out your first attempt. And again, you want to lock into the top 28 to get yourself into those red and black qualifier races that are happening later on this evening. And again, 29 through the end of the order get slated into those 7-come-11 races. By the way, tomorrow's program will have 6 TQ heat races, our Hoosier Tire Champ Kart A feature, 3 TQ B mains. We'll have the Dirt 600 Micro A main, the Tobias Slingshot A main, and then, of course, our TQ Midget A main. All of those events, that, of course, being the Gamblers Classic coming up here tomorrow. We also have B mains and qualifying that will take place during the afternoon as part of the activities here at Boardwalk Hall. Now, if you were with us the last time out for indoor auto racing competition in Allentown, you remember that Ryan Flores came within one spot of nailing down that Ironton Auto Body double down bonus by almost, I say almost, because he won Friday night, finished second to Andy Jankowiak on Saturday night, was almost able to execute the sweep. And they are both, of course, in the field here getting ready. And Andy Jankowiak is actually slated to come out in the third group, so he will be out on the track a little bit earlier based on his pill draw. The first three cars, again, that are getting ready to come out will be Anthony Cecily, who is already sitting here waiting the opportunity to get going, Mike Christopher Jr. and Rob Mullen. Then the second group, Joe Toth, Mike Netchin, and Alex Payne driving the Can-Am Speedway Bartlett number 93. The third group will be Anthony Payne with his 45, Ethan DeRocher, and Andy Jankowiak. By the way, if you're wondering where in the list here Ryan Flores is, he is way down in the order. He's going to be in actually one of the next to last groups here. So Anthony Cecily is locked and loaded. You get to be the first car on the track. Is that by design, or would you rather be running maybe a little bit later in the qualifying order?
I don't have much of a voice right now, but yeah, going out first is never a good thing when you're watching everybody walk across the track and take the rubber with them. So I assume.
Okay, Anthony's battling a little bit of laryngitis, but we were able to at least get a word from him. Let me step back here and let's talk to Mike Christopher Jr., who is getting ready to roll out on the racetrack behind him. Mike, it's an early qualifying number for you. Is that an advantage or disadvantage?
I think it'll be a bit of an advantage. We set the time and then see how we stack up against practice times. We get to go out again, so we can just get right back in line. I'm getting antsy here. I want to get going. I don't know what the delay's for, but it's time to hit the track.
Spoken like a true racer right there. He wants to get the show on the road, get the qualifying out of the way, and then be able to focus on what's going to be happening the rest of the evening. See Tyler Thompson, Billy Pouch Jr. all in the line here. Andy Jankowiak, he's definitely got his game face on and getting ready to go. As we've got the first couple of groups of TQs being brought down here into the infield, so they'll be rolling out, running their qualifying. Tanner Van Doren, a little bit later in the qualifying order, and he is sitting back here at the back of the line. So, Tanner, you're going to get to watch for a little bit, but then you're going to have a chance to see if you can be as fast as you were during practice earlier.
Yeah, the track's a little bit different right now. Anthony's going out first here, so just got to see, kind of in the middle. So a lot of cars go out in front of me, a lot go out behind me. Just go out there and see what we can do.
All right, Tanner Van Doren getting ready to go out in one of the later groups, and another guy who's going out one of the later groups is straight shooter Scott Kruder, and you're just kind of chilling outside the car right now.
Yeah, just hanging out. I don't know, I'll hop in a minute. Doesn't take long.
What did practice tell you about the race car?
We were all right in practice. We've had old tires on, so we just put some new tires on and gonna go send it. Hopefully it's good.
There you go. I love it when a driver says send it. That's what it's all about here. So again, just waiting for the last couple of preparations to be made. I believe we have all the cars down here in the infield in what is going to double as the work area later on. So we should be just a couple of moments away from getting group qualifying underway. Memory serves me correctly, they get 3 laps on the clock, is that right? 3 laps, I believe, on the clock. Fastest lap counts. It's green-white checker. Okay, yeah, a little bit bigger track than here in Allentown. So it's a green-white checker. So you're going to have to be on top of it. When you get out there, there is no room for error. You can sit there and say, oh, well, my first lap wasn't the greatest. Maybe I'll take a mulligan on that. But that means you only got one shot if you have a bad first lap, you've got to rely on that second lap being good enough for you. Looks like the Buckwalter number 8 car now being presented here as it's brought across the track and down into the infield. Using the dollies to maneuver these cars around. Relatively lightweight even with a driver on board. And as mentioned, everybody running, of course, the Hoosier Racing tires on all of the divisions that are racing here today. The 600 Micros are actually running their dirt tires, whereas the rest of the competitors are running the purpose-built Hoosier asphalt racing tires that are available for their respective divisions. And our teams all utilizing the folks from VP Racing Fuel. And you'll also notice, too, we have a small army of folks in yellow Napa T-shirts. Our track crew, assisted by the officials wearing the red or blue, white, and black shirts. And that apparel is courtesy of our friends at Bob Hilbert Sportswear. They are the official apparel supplier for the Indoor Auto Racing Championship. For those of you that are here at Boardwalk Hall, if you're in the pit area, over at the tech area, they have plenty of merchandise available. Brand new Indoor Auto Racing Championship stuff from Bob Hilbert. We'll have that available on the concourse level as well. If you want to check out Bob Hilbert and what he has to offer, not just as a consumer, but perhaps as someone who might want to get a run of T-shirts done or a run of hoodies, not just for maybe your race team, but maybe for an organization or a team, you can go to bobhilbert.com and find out more information. That's Bob Hilbert, HILBERT.com. All right, so the last few cars that they are getting ready to bring across are coming across the track as we speak. And we understand that we are moments away from information that we're getting from race control. They want to try to get as many cars in the infield as possible, but at some point we will go ahead and get things started. Remember, we'll go through the entire rotation of group qualifying, and then we start a 20-minute clock. That 20-minute clock is for second chance qualifying attempts, but if you take a second chance, you have to stand on the time you turn in that second chance qualifier. All right, well, we're starting to hear engines come to life down here in the infield, and that means that we are moments away from getting our qualifying sessions underway. Again, green, white, checker, 3 cars at a time on the racetrack doing their thing here as part of qualifying for tonight's Blackjack 21 program at the Napa Auto Parts Atlantic City Indoor Race. Cecily, Christopher, and Mullen, first 3 cars out, and they will go ahead and roll off the racing onto the racing surface and immediately come to the green flag. Again, the sessions will go by fast and furious here with just green, white, checker. So far, Anthony Cecily quickest at a 7.893 on his second lap. 8.246 was the quickest for Mike Christopher Jr., and for Ron Mullen, it was 8.630. So 7.893 is the mark that is being set here for number 1 qualifier status. Next group, Joe Toth with the JK12, Mike Nitschen with the 5, and Alex Payne driving the Bartlett number 93. They are on track. And looks like Joe Toth is the quickest of the 3, third quick at an 8.341. Alex Payne's quick lap at 8.442, and Mike's quick lap was a 9.161. Want to keep an eye on this next group that is making their way out. A couple of fast cars in here. Anthony Payne with the 45, the 14 of Ethan DeRocher, And your reigning and defending Gamblers Classic winner, Andy J. Andy Jankowiak, fastest in the Tires Out practice session held earlier today. He has already jumped up to second quick on his first lap at 8.033. And now jumps to the number 1 spot. So Andy J. leapfrogs Anthony Cecily with a 7.89. That will be the quick time for Andy Jankowiak so far here in TQ Midget qualifying. Next group out, Tyler Ferris with the number 7, the Tyler Catalano 84, and the number 28 of Chad Jones, all in the mix. Tyler Catalano coming up and moving up to 5th quick so far with a lap of an 8.279, unofficially 8.27 and change. Next group making their way out, they should be Tyler Thompson with the 98T, the Derek Robbie 34.5 or 34.5, and Louis Horvath with the number 1F. Tyler Thompson, of course, has competed on, a few occasions here indoors. Former Budweiser International Classic winner at the Oswego Speedway, and he jumps up to 3rd quick. Best time looks like it was an 8.229, so 3rd quick so far for Tyler Thompson as we get into our next group. Billy Pouch Jr. with the 98P, Corey Grenzy with the 8, and the Bill Force Jr. number 6, the competitor is scheduled to be out there. By the way, right now, Anthony Cecily still stands second quick, Tyler Thompson 3rd quick, Tyler Ferris 4th quick, followed by Mike Christopher. Then it's Tyler Catalano, Joe Toth, Anthony Payne, Chad Jones is qualified 9th so far. Alex Payne right now rounding out the top 10. And again, the key here is if you don't set fast time, you want to lock into the top 28. Now we've qualified 18 so far, so we're going to get to the point here eventually where we're going to start to have bump ups. And you're going to want to keep your eyes on the number 22 that is on track right now, Tanner Van Doren. 7.524 earlier with the tires in, which was lower than the unofficial track record. He is timed in first lap at 8.079. That will move him up into the number 3 spot in the qualifying order. He backs that up by going quicker with a 7.94 with a 3. So Jankowiak still on top, followed by Cecily Van Doren now 3rd quick, followed by Tyler Thompson and Tyler Ferris at an 8.242. We have not gotten to 28 cars yet, so the bumping process for tonight has not started. Matt Swanson jumps up to 4th quick with the number 89 that's on track right now with an 8.032. Cole Littlewood out there with the 42. Joey Bailey is aboard the Boyd number 1B machine. He was 8th quick out of that pass at an 8.267. So Ferris bumped out of the top 5 as Swanson out of that group was 4th quick. Don Wagner should be out on track with one of the number 19s that you'll see in the field. Trevor Catalano with the 56, Chris Hurt with the number 78. As we continue on here, roughly halfway through the qualifying order for the TQs here this afternoon. And again, Jankowiak at a 7.890 is quickest so far. Trevor Catalano presents himself in the top 5 at 8.149 for car number 56. So that will bump him up to the 5th quick spot. And now starting with this group, we'll not only keep an eye on the top 5, but we'll keep an eye on that 28th spot as we have Andrew Nye on track with the 66, Corey DiMatteo with the 40, and the straight shooter Scott Critter, who you heard from a couple of minutes ago, with the number 49. Andrew Nye, quickest of that group, was 6th fastest at an 8.192. Right now, Mike Neichin is on the bubble in that 28th spot at a 9.161. So you have to do better than a 9.161 to lock into the top 28. in qualifying. Now remember, those drivers in the top 28 get split out to run the red and the black 21s, and they will be joined by the 7x11 qualifiers, 7 out of each of the 7x11 11-lap races held later on this evening. So it's still Jankowiak, Cecily, Van Doren, Swanson, and Catalano. But right now, looks like the 28th spot being held by Ken Hurt at an 8.740 on car number 97. So you've got to go quicker than that, and Chris Hurt goes a little bit quicker out of this group at an 8.722. So that will put him in that number 28 or a bumping position. Looks like our next group out on track, Nick Latigo with the 38 CT, Jeremy Hardracore is car number 39. And the Lockport Lawman, Jonathan Reed with the number 9, out to get their qualifying attempts in for today. Hardracore jumps right up there to the number 6 spot with an 8.183 for a quick lap. And lowers it down, looks like, to an 8.149. So Jonathan Reed at an 8.117 moves up to 5th, and Hardracore with that 8.188 7th quick. 28th quick right now is Corey Grenzy, who has already qualified in an 8.592. Now remember, once we get through all of the qualifying groups, that is when the 20-minute clock starts for second chance qualifying attempts if anybody wants to take a shot at improving their time. But you sacrifice your first qualifying time and have to stand on that second chance qualifying time if you elect to come out for second chance qualifying. Next group of cars getting ready to come out. Matt Janish with the 48. Quickest in Thursday night practice. Briggs Danner was also quick in the tires out practice session earlier today with car number 78, the Ironton Telephone and Auto Body car. And Kyle Lick with the number 8 all out in this group. So we're going to want to keep our eyes near the top of the speed charts. Janish jumps up to 7th quick. Danner is 4th quick, 7.987. Janish backs up with the 7.988 to go 5th quick, and Danner goes 7.902. 12 one-thousandths of a second slower than Andy Jankowiak was in that particular group. Next group rolling out, the 19 of Tyler Wagner. John Barnett with the 15B. Cole Mullen with the number 73 going through their qualifying efforts right now. Alex Payne in danger of being knocked out, as he is sitting in the 28th spot right now. 8.442 was his fastest lap earlier today. So this group completes their run. Tyler Wagner jumping up to 6th quick at an 8.004. So a good run for Tyler Wagner. That'll give him a reasonably good starting spot in one of the red and black 21 races coming up later on this evening. Sean Nye out on track with the number 51. Looks like his fastest lap was an 8.101. That is good for 9th quick. Ryan Flores, of course, one of the winners from Allentown out in that group, did an 8.040. That is 8th quick. And here's the final car to take time of the original qualifying sessions. This is the radical offset of Matt Roselli, the number 98, a car they debuted in Allentown. And let's see, did he make the top 28? Doing a quick scan through the list here. And it looks like he was 34th. So he did not make the top 28. It was an 8.507 for the Roselli car. That's probably the most unique car As mentioned, it was debuted in Allentown earlier this season for the Indoor Auto Racing Championship. Kind of a throwback to, and I'm going to go really old school here. If you don't know this, Google it. Smokey Yunick's sidecar from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway back in, I believe it was the 1960s. Basically had the cockpit hanging off the left side of the car and the engine as the counterweight on the right-hand side of the race car. And that is kind of, I think, one of the inspirations for the Roselli number 98 machine.
Did you notice your time difference? It's less than a tenth through the top 5.
So we're looking at the unofficial top 5, and it's less than a tenth of a second between them. Jankowiak at 789 with an O, and then Cecily 7893, so 3 1,000ths of a second between the top 2. Briggs Danner 7902, Tanner Van Doren 7943, and Matt Janish 7988. All right, some second chance drivers coming out, including the number 42 machine of Cole Littlewood. Michael Glazer with the number 2 also out there. We'll see if they can improve on their times from where they were previously. Looks like an 8.797 for Glazer and 8.6 for Littlewood. And again, if you're tuning in here on DirtTrackDigest.tv's Facebook page or the Indoor Auto Racing Championship Facebook page, you're watching TQ Midget qualifying for the Napa Auto Parts Atlantic City Indoor Auto Race, night number 1. Coming up this evening at 7 o'clock, you can purchase tonight's action on DirtTrackDigest.tv for $34.99, or if you want to get both of the Friday and Saturday portions of our Atlantic City Indoor Auto Race weekend presented by Napa Auto Parts, that is just $64.99 for the 2-day package, and you can order those now at DirtTrackDigest.tv and not miss a minute of tonight or tomorrow's action here as we roll indoors. Tommy Catalano, Billy Pouch Jr., Joe Bailey out there trying to improve on their time, so they decided to take advantage of a second chance shot. Looks like an 8.363 for Pouch Jr., an 8.201 for Catalano, and for Bailey it's an 8.133. Looks like Chad Jones and the Robbie, number 34, out here in this group again, taking advantage of a second chance opportunity. By the way, those top 3 times that we talked about, the 890, the 893, and the 902, those are under the official qualifying track record. So both Jankowiak and Cecily, along with Danner, going under the qualifying record here, which is a testament to how the folks on the Indoor Auto Racing Championship have been able to prepare this concrete floor with the proper application of cola syrup in the right places at the right times and at the right temperatures. So we've got ourselves a bad, fast racetrack that should carry on. And with the qualifying being run with the tires out, that's just helping to build that second lane to give an opportunity for passing and side-by-side racing for not just the TQs, but our other divisions that are racing here with us. So it looks like Mike Christopher went out and ripped an 8.110 on a second chance. Tim Buckwalter went 8.208 on his second chance qualifier. Anthony Payne with the 45, Cole Mullen 73, and Matt Roselli with the number 98 out for their next qualifying efforts here. And again, this is all second chance qualifying. The clock is running down to about 14 minutes or so left to go. So Payne doing an 8.206. then backed it up with an 8.309 on the second trip around. No changes in the top 10, by the way. The top 10 is still Jankowiak, Cecily, and Danner, followed by Van Doren and Janish in spots 4 and 5. Wagner 6th quick, Swanson 7th quick, Flores 8th quick with that 8.040 that he ripped in one of the late qualifying groups in the first round. Sean Nye is 9th quick, and MC Jr., Mike Christopher Jr. with the 82 rounds out the top 10. Knocking at the door just out of the top 10 with Jonathan Reed in 11th, Joe Bailey 12th, Trevor Catalano 13th, Kyle Lick 14th, Jeremy Hartricourt 15th. And right now, Billy Pouch Jr. is on the bubble of that top 28 lock-in as he sits 28th with a time of 8.363. 8.363. And as I say that, looks like Alex Payne out there making a second chance run. And he may have improved his position up a little bit. He bumps up to 24th quick at an 8.267. That means Joe Toth at an 8.341 is now on the bubble in that 28th position. So again, we are into the second chance qualifying portion of the program where these drivers are basically giving up the laps that they turned in round number 1 and gambling, pun fully intended, on the second run being quicker to help them improve their status. Comes to Catalano 54, making his way back out. Bruce Leote with the number 94, and looks like Matt Chowns with the number 33, who are out on track now for second chance qualifying attempts.
If his lap was better, let it stand.
Yellow flag coming out. Just for a moment there to take care of things on track. And green flag will come back out to resume the group qualifying sessions here. Tommy Catalano turning an 8.103. That would bump him up to number 11 in the qualifying order right now. Trevor Catalano at an 8.074 sits 9th. Nye is 10th at 8.101. And Catalano is just 0.02 of a second off that Tommy anyway at an 8.103. Joe Toth out there with the number 12. Looks like he's just turned an 8.322. So I'm looking to see where that slots him in. And right now he is the bubble guy with that 8.322. By bubble, again, referring to the fact that the top 28 will lock into the red and black qualifying races tonight. And then everybody from 29th on back goes into those 7-11 races, which actually act as almost like a last chance qualifier. 2 last chance qualifiers that will set drivers to the back of the field for each of the red and black qualifiers, with the set drivers to the back of the field for the Blackjack 21, which will be our main event of the evening. Michael Glazer, Matt Roselli, and Ron Mullen back out on track here, seeing if they can improve their times. When I say second chance qualifying, you can have as many second chances as you want, but each time you come back out, you're basically wiping out the time that you had put up previously and you're going to have to stand on whatever time you turn on the racetrack, whether you make 1, 2, or 5 attempts. It's the last attempt that is the one that will count. Straight shooter Scott Kruder back out with the number 49. So looking to improve his status here. Corey Grenzy with the 08, and Ken Hurt with the number 97 out there on track. Kruder goes 8.204. So right now that would put him 19th. So that's a little insurance for him as it bumps him up. The bump spot still held by Joe Toth with an 8.322 back there in the 28th spot. And again, if you're just joining us here on Facebook, TQ Midget qualifying for tonight's portion of the Napa Auto Parts Atlantic City Indoor Auto Race. Andy Jankowiak is quickest at a 7.890. Second quick was Anthony Cecily, 7.893. Briggs Danner, 7.902. Followed by Tanner Van Doren at a 7.943. And Matt Janish with a 7.988, rounding out the top 5 qualifiers so far. Tyler Wagner, 6th quick. Matt Swanson, 7th quick. Ryan Flores, 8th quick. Trevor Catalano, 9th fastest. And Joe Bailey rounds out the top 10 in qualifying here with about 7 minutes left to run here before the window closes for anybody else looking for second chance qualifying attempts. Looks like Derek Robbie came back out, and one of the number 98s, that's Billy Pouch Jr. And Pouch has bumped himself into the top 28 with an 8.307. That is 27th quick. He actually backs that up by going faster at 8.298, so that'll put the 98 junior machine number 26 in the order of qualifying so far, and put Steve Kemery on the bubble with an 8.319 that was set earlier by him with car number 69K. Again, Joe Toth looking for a little bit of extra speed here, trying to get back into that top 28. Right now he's on the outside looking in. 8.322 was his best time. And the second lap was better for Joe Toth, 8.268. So that as a little insurance for him. That bumps him to number 24 in the overall order, puts Steve Kemery back on the bubble with that 8.319. A little bit of a shuffle in the order inside the top 10. Tommy Catalano goes 8.023, and that improves him up into the number 7 position. We have not seen any of the top 5 make a second attempt, and I would wager a safe bet that they're probably figuring that even though the track is going to get a little bit more rubbered up, that they had the prime opportunity to set time. Now, the second chance qualifiers, it's a double-edged sword. Trevor Catalano came out to try to improve his time. He was 10th, but unfortunately, he didn't turn a faster lap, and he has to stand on the last set of laps that he took. Well, the last fast lap was an 8.139, and that bumps him from 10th down to 16th in the order. Looks like Anthony Payne going back out for another attempt. Scott Kruder going out for another attempt here in this group as well. Clock running down to about 4 minutes left here, and the second chance opportunities for any drivers who want them. So a little shuffle in the back half of the top 10 in qualifying. As we mentioned, Tommy Catalano came out and went quicker. Trevor Catalano came out, did not go quicker. He dropped out of the top 10. Tommy Catalano bumped up to 7th quick. Matt Swanson drops back to 8th. Ryan Flores 9th. And Tyler Thompson 10th quick right now. So to crack the top 10, you need to do better than an 8:048. And the number 28 spot currently held by Anthony Payne at an 8:347. And again, the top 28, they get split up into those red and black 21 lappers. And then 29 through the rest of the field go into those 7-11 races. Final 2 minutes of the second chance qualifying window are open. Matt Roselli, Chad Jones, Michael Glazer out there again, trying to make second attempts. Roselli, I think, just set his personal best at an 8.772, but that will not be good enough to lock him into the top 28. Right now, the driver on the bubble is Chad Jones with a time of 8.341. Scott Kruder out on track right now goes, looks like 8.430. And then backs up to an 8.420. And that is not going to be good enough to get Kruder up into that top 28. So the 49 team looking for a little extra speed here. Derek Robbie with the 34 and 8.446. Looks like personal best for him during the qualifying efforts here. So we're down to about 1 minute remaining on the clock. We'll see if we get any other takers here. Looks like Tyler Ferris with the number 7 making his way out. Tyler hung out in the top 10 for a little while earlier, but was sitting in the 27th position when he came out on track to see if he could better his qualifying time. It looks like an 8.461 is what he's going to have to stand on, and the clock ticking down now for the final few seconds here before the window officially closes for our TQ qualifying. And here comes Matt Roselli back out here, along with Scott Kruder coming back out. They may have made some quick air pressure adjustments or suspension adjustments, but this is pretty much going to be the last gasp here. So these are the last two cars that will take time here as part of TQ Midget qualifying. Checkers will come out. Roselli goes 8.867, and Kruder goes slower than he did the last time out, 8.523. That will not help his cause. So again, your unofficial top 10, your quick qualifier this afternoon is Andy J. Andy Jankowiak, 7.890 by 3/1000ths of a second over Anthony Cecily at a 7.893. Briggs Standard third quick at a 7.902. Tanner Van Doren fourth quick, 7.943. Matt Janish was fifth quick, 7.988. Those were the 5 drivers that broke into the 7-second bracket. 6 through 10, Tyler Wagner, Tommy Catalano, Matt Swanson, Ryan Flores, and Tyler Thompson. You had to do better than an 8.048 to make it into the top 10 in TQ Midget qualifying. So TQ Midget qualifying wraps up. That's going to wrap up our Facebook coverage. And I believe Andy Jankowiak is making his way. I understand that Andy may be on his way from the pit area, so perhaps we can get a word with the quick timer. And again, it was by 3/1000ths of a second. Now, once we leave you on Facebook here, for those of you here in Boardwalk Hall, qualifying will continue. We still have our Hoosier Tire Champ cards and the Tobias Slingshots that will have their group qualifying runs along with the Dirt 600 Micro Sprints. Yep, they are running the Hoosier Dirt tires here on the concrete as part of their racing activity this weekend. And again, if you're joining us later on tonight on DirtTrackDigest.tv, all right, well, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, fresh off a win in Allentown, and he is the quick qualifier with a new track record. Andy Jankowiak, you had the game face on earlier when you were sitting down there on the qualifying line. Do you think the early number helped?
You know, I think going early might have actually been the ticket. I was on the chip pretty quick, which means you're going fast. So I stayed strapped in. If anyone beat me, we were going to go back out. I hate losing. It bothers me a lot. So we were going to throw our lap away and go if anyone beat it. So, but probably good that it just worked out the way that it did. You know, they're going to start inverting and all that. So, it's going to get shuffled here. So it's always cool to start out the weekend winning the pole, first competitive, trial of the weekend. So it's good to get started off on the right foot.
All right, Andy J., qualifying is one thing, racing is another. How did the car feel?
I think the car's really good. They've changed the track quite a bit, so it's going to be a different racetrack. So I feel like we've always been good here, and we've been kind of so-so at Allentown, and we got really good at Allentown, and I'm trying to figure out where that kind of fits into here, So we've been kind of going back and forth with some stuff, and sticking with what we gained at Allentown versus what we know here. So we'll see. There's no consi tonight, so they said there's one provisional, but I ain't waiting for it. So, pressure's on. You got to get her in the show. You got to be top 10. So I told the boys, bring out, they'll let us pit over. It said bring the welder, bring the bungee cords, bring the duct tape. It's going back out no matter what.
All right, Andy Jankowiak getting ready for later on this evening. Thank you, Andy. He is our number one qualifier here tonight. Picks up $300 for the quick time from Dr. William Well. So congratulations to Andy, and thanks to Dr. William Well for providing that $300 for tonight's fast qualifier. All right, so for those of you watching on Facebook, again, just a reminder, you won't miss a minute of the action if you go to DirtTrackDigest.tv and order tonight's program for $34.99, or if you want to park yourself in your favorite chair in front of the big screen and watch all of the action all weekend long, $64.99. And again, you can order that at DirtTrackDigest.tv. If you're headed here to Atlantic City, the doors open at 6, and tonight's racing program begins at 7.